protecting Main Street from Wall Street. It's time for Money Unleashed with Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn.
You have to have a plan where you know if the market's going to go up, what happens next. And you also have to have a plan where if it doesn't go the way you think, you know what you're going to do.
It's time to put you back in control of your money.
I'm not trying to predict the weather, which is kind of what we're talking about, right? It's predicting the stock market. I'm trying to build a better boat.
This is Money Unleashed with Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn.
Welcome to the Money Unleashed podcast, powered by the Hoffman Financial Group. I'm Eric Johnson, alongside Kyle Allyn, as always. We're the vice presidents of Hoffman Financial Group. You can catch new episodes on Monday and Friday each and every week. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And tune into Money Unleashed every Saturday on 95.5 WSB from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We talk about retirement, we talk about geopolitics, we talk about the stock market. Now we're going to talk about how to get ready for retirement. I like analogies because it's the best way for me to get complicated thoughts through to people. The first one is like reading a map. If you've got a map of Georgia and you have no idea where you're on the map, then it's not really worth a whole lot, right?
You are here. X marks the spot.
You are here, right? So when you're getting ready for retirement, I would argue the first thing that you need to do is figure out where you are on the map of retirement. And Kyle, how do we do that?
Well, first of all, you've got to understand the performance metrics of your investments, okay? So what we do for clients is we do a portfolio x-ray, and so it takes the investments that you have. Let's say you have 2 IRAs, a Roth, and a brokerage account. We'd put those into the system, those 4 accounts. We'd look at them from 10,000 feet. So the first page is going to show you all of those investments. Maybe you have 40, maybe you have 300.
Yeah.
Right? One of the things we talk about with clients is you could be over-diversified. You could literally be buying replication of the same thing. For some people, you've got too many investments.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things we look at. The next thing we move into, like I said, is the performance discussion. So we're looking at the accounts to say, okay, when the market is appreciating, when the economy is expanding, are you making money? Right? Are you going up by 6%, 12%, 20%? What are we talking about here? Mm-hmm. We also look at allocation. So for some clients, when they think about their 401k or they think about their IRA, they say, that's my invested money. Okay, invested, but in where?
Right.
How much is in stocks? How much is in cash? How much is in bonds? So we'll walk you through understanding those allocation points. Then we'll keep going. We'll go even deeper. So when we look at the bonds, we'll say, well, I understand and you understand now that you've bought 20 or 30% of your money into bonds, but what type of bonds? Did you buy junk bonds or did you buy really safe, highly rated bonds? The bonds that you bought, are they making money? Or the bonds that you bought, are they losing money? Then we do the same thing with the stocks. We'll look at the 11 sectors in the S&P and we'll say, okay, are you overexposed into technology? Are you overexposed into utilities? Why did you buy things that were safe? Or why did you buy things that were growing? And then the last thing, of course, is we're able to look at these positions from a standpoint of where are they on the map, right? To your point.
Yep.
I mean, the literal map. Are they in Europe? Are they in Asia? But now we've been able to understand how many investments you have, where they're placed, their allocation, their performance metrics, and then ultimately that brings us to a point of a simple 2-number set. One is your average return and your standard of deviation, which is just a fancy word for risk. Now that you know where your portfolio is at from a standpoint of what it's invested in, how it's supposed to do, and where it's going, you can start making adjustments and decisions on what to do next, right? So even build a plan, you first got to figure out where you are on the map.
So that was a great description of step 1. Now, most people think, okay, I did my portfolio x-ray. Time to fix it. Hold on a minute. There's a step in the middle that is really important, and that is, what are your inflows and outflows for your family? How much money do you have coming in through Social Security, pensions, rental income, loans, whatever it may be? And then how much are you spending every month? I think that's something that I see quite a bit when I walk in with people. I'm like, all right, how much you spending every month? And they kind of go, I was kind of hoping you weren't going to ask me that question. Right. Well, how the heck am I supposed to fix your situation?
Which, by the way, I empathize with somewhat, because if you work really hard and you make money, part of the fun is to not think about what you're spending. So here's a nice little tip. CPAs can actually take your bank account, break it all down, and do a budget for you. So if you're somebody who says, hey, I don't want to sit down and figure this out, you can pay a CPA a couple $1,000s. They'll knock it out for you. And once again, I've done it for people. It's quite easy. So the point here is you've got to figure out what that budget looks like to understand the in and out of your money.
Yes. And now why is that important? You got to figure out the budget of your family, the economy of the 4 walls of your own home, because then you can figure out how much money you need to generate, which then you can reverse engineer into a number that you need so that you can actually start creating income for yourself and still grow your portfolio in retirement. So step 1, figure out where you're at and what you got. Step 2, we got to figure out how much you're spending and how much you got coming in when you retire. Then step 3 is how you start making the tweaks and the adjustments in order to get to the level that you need to be in order to create the retirement plan. I know it sounds simple when we say it. It's not. You have to have a pretty deep dive look into your 401ks and IRAs, especially if you're using the mutual fund model. But this is how you get ready for retirement. Then I would say number 4, and this is kind of a little more fun. What are you going to do with your time?
Yeah.
Right? What does your time mean in retirement? Because everyone says travel, and I love that. Christy and myself, we love traveling. That's our thing, right? We'd like to take our girls traveling. We like to show them all the things, and that's fantastic. But when you retire, how many trips are you going to take? What are you going to do in between the trips, right? So you got to figure out some fun stuff that you're going to keep your mind and your body going also in retirement. And, everyone kind of laughs when I say, hey, what are you going to do with your time? But that's very important. You don't want to be a couch potato watching the news, driving yourself crazy every day in retirement. You want to be having fun, playing pickleball, spoiling the grandkids, going on trips, all the things. Maybe take a baseball course, right, at one of these great universities around here in Atlanta. Who cares what your grade is? Just go learn about something that you love.
It's funny that you say that. I literally saw something this morning that said we get distracted that money is the most important thing.
Mm-mm.
But because time is the most important thing, our attention needs to be intentional.
Yes. Well, I mean, listen,
it's like, where are you putting your attention? You just mentioned it. It's like, what are you doing? Are you sitting there stressing out about the market, stressing about some politician, or are you out there living?
Yeah. Well, get to living or get to dying. That's what it is. And here's the thing, and you're absolutely right. Money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. Okay. So you got to make sure you take care of yourself in that manner, but also figure out how you're going to, use your time in retirement, whatever that may be for you. That's a big deal. And this is how you get ready for retirement, guys. It's not just as simple as, I throw a bunch of money into a 401k and hopefully I got enough at the end of the day. No, most of my clients are type A. They're proactive. Let's figure out what the plan is and get it put in place for you before you retire. So when you do walk away and put the pen down, there's no gap in money coming in. You've already got it set up. And when you walk away and you're wearing PJs the rest of your life, now you got money coming in to replace that paycheck, and that's super important. We're here to help you with all of this fun stuff. Give us a call. Let's get this plan started today. 404-640-5511. That's 404-640-5511. Or you can find us online at unleashyourmoney.com.
Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn are investment advisor representatives of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor and affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hoffman Financial Group are affiliated under common ownership. Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosures of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV2A, page 4, for additional information. The Hoffman Financial Group and WSB are not affiliated. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. This information should not be considered tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a professional specializing in the field of tax, legal, accounting, or investments regarding the applicability of this information for their situation. Any client experiences discussed during the show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments will fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone. Index or fixed annuities are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to caps, restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV2A Item 4, for additional information. Hoffman Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Insurance licensed in Georgia, number 163546.